Hello, everybody. Happy Webinar Wednesday. Thank you for joining us here at Octria. I am so glad that you spent a little bit of your day. You registered, you came, you're here for a live Q&A. I have two phenomenal women with incredible resources to share with you today. This is Elevate Your Auction Catalog. This is tools and treasures that deliver big results. I've got Christy from Events That Give Back. Hi, Christy.
Hi there. So excited.
So excited to have you. And a standby that we've had for many years on our webinars. And she said yes again. And here she is, Renee Zhao from Donation Match. Renee, thank you for joining us.
Of course. I'm happy to be back.
Hey, just a little housekeeping before we get started. Love to know where everybody's tuning in from, what kind of charity you're fundraising for, what geography you are in right now. Everything is in listen only mode. We've got a big group here. So go ahead and drop any questions you have in the Q&A section on the chat pod, and go ahead and drop any sort of general conversation information into the chat screen there. So go ahead and drop in there. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from right now, what kind of charity you're fundraising for. And as we go through any sort of Q&A, I am in sunny South Florida, and I love to help all the organizations. Christy, Renee, you guys are West Coast, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, we're both in San Diego.
Well, we are at opposite ends of the country, but not at opposite ends for wanting people to be able to have events that crush the fundraising goal. It looks like there's a lot of people dropping in some notes here. We've got Toronto, we've got Oregon, we've got Houston, Animal Foundation in Columbus, DFW, I'm guessing that's Dallas-Fort Worth, Middleton, Bloom for Women, Toronto, Smoky Mountains, up, down, left, right. We've got all sorts of elevations here today too, it seems. Go ahead and continue to drop that in there. Sometimes people make friends with each other just because they're local or they're working for the same group. I am going to just give you a quick little rundown here. If you're new to Octria, Octria has been used with organizations for all types and sizes, raising over $1 billion. You guys are the heroes out there since 2011. And like I said, we have our two guests here today, Renee from Donation Match and Christy from Gifts That Give Back. And Donation Match is an incredible resource for you guys to find auction items for your catalog. And then Christy is an amazing source for consignment items for your auctions. She brings the glitz, she brings the glamour, and they both brought along lots of examples, lots of photos. So go ahead and drop any questions along the way. And then I do have a little tidbit about Octria I wanted to share. So this is the agenda. Why we chose these panelists, because these panelists are in the mission-driven space. They're helping you find things that bring the attention to your auction catalog, bring people in, and raising awareness is for the activities that are happening, so that more people show up, more people are bidding. The more people that are bidding, the higher those bids are going to go. And it just snowballs over and over. And then people always ask me, how do we get people to come to our event? It's because of your event prior. So not only does the event itself snowball on itself, but the events from event to event snowball. So think of this as a long-term strategy. So we're going to talk about increasing the approval rate of your donation sponsor requests. And then we're going to talk about making the catalog shine, and then Q&A. Renee, I'll give you the keys to the car, and you'll start with talking to us about securing the in-kind donations more effectively, correct?
Yes, I will. Yeah. And actually, some of my strategies apply to sponsorships as well. So basically just getting you more resources to raise money with. But thank you very much. Let's see, you can go ahead and, perfect. Thanks, Laurie. So hi, everyone. In case you haven't met me or know about Donation Match, basically we are the official in-kind donation portal to about 200 companies across the US and some in Canada as well. So we work very much like a dating site. That's where our name comes from. And basically, I think most of our users are asked to apply for donations through our system by referral by the companies that use us as their portals. But oftentimes word spreads as well through other channels. And so that's basically what we do. We have one side where nonprofits apply and put your information in, and we have the other side where companies come in, set their criteria, and that's where you find them. Next page. So a bit about me and my experience is that I started out as and some of you might remember, Curves Fitness Center franchisee in 2000. I really actually stayed with them for 19 years, even after I co-founded Donation Match. It was a great community to be a part of. My very first charitable volunteering experience was with the Heart Association in their Go Red for Women luncheon. And then I started chairing auctions. As you know, when you end up on the love it side of silent auctions, people start realizing you have experience and they will just reel you in. So after lots of experience being on both the donor and the recipient and the asking side, I figured out that it was very difficult for us at Curves in San Diego to coordinate all of our donating, as well as seeking donations from companies for all the auctions that I was volunteering with, and basically wanted a system that put us all in one place. That's Donation Match. Basically, a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today is from my experience talking to over 500 donation decision makers. Our system has facilitated almost $200 million worth of donated products and services since we were founded in 2010. I'm going to be talking to you about not only how to get more donations, but how to get them more effectively and keep those donors and sponsors happy. And
that's
so really
that's so part of the situation, right? If you keep them happy, then they'll donate again the following year and the following year, and then you have them in your Rolodex.
Exactly. Yes.
Absolutely.
And that what you said, Lori, about your success one year depends on your success carried over from the prior year, really resonated with me. I wanted to point that out. And so how Donation Match works like a dating site is that the nonprofit process is you do have to create a profile. We make sure that all the information is correct, that the organizations are exempt. This is what the donor companies are asking us to do on their behalf. But once your profile is validated, you're able to add your event details, go to a very specific place to see what you qualify for all in one place. We call it a donation catalog, basically. And that's based on donor criteria and what they've told us they're willing to donate to. So it could depend on where you're located, the type of event you're having, how you might use their donations, things like that. And then once you start sending out those requests, they will respond to you within our system. And basically, they might ship things to you. You might be asked to pick them up. It might be something you download and print, but that's something that's already built into the request process. So you'll know before you actually request something how delivery will happen. And then when you're done, you can just collect everything, print what you need to, download it, basically get everything ready. So our system is designed to make that whole process a lot easier for you as well. Got a lot more to talk about that's more interesting than this. So basically, I want to just preface this that, again, with my conversations with donors, is that you have to realize companies that are donating have their own challenges too, right? We all are trying to figure out who's willing to donate to the causes we're helping out. They basically, in all of the hundreds or thousands of people that are within their reach, within their communities, they're getting all those requests. And these are some of the most common challenges that I hear from all of them. And the bottom line is they're overwhelmed and they need to be able to see the return on their efforts. And that's what we really want to focus on as event planners and organizers, is making sure that we make it as easy for them as possible to see, really to talk to us, to donate to us, but also to see the fruits of what they're doing.
Awesome. I have a quick question. Can everybody see the slides? Are they moving along on your side? If you could just give me a thumbs up or a yes or a no. I just want to make sure. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Okay. Christy, I'm not sure why it's not showing on there. I don't know if there's a separate panel that is showing.
I
But
see them.
okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Sorry about that. I wanted to make sure. Did
Good
we
to
talk about this one already?
Yes.
Sorry, Renee.
Oh, it's okay. No, you're good. So basically, after all those challenges, what really companies and decision makers, and you know, to understand this, it's typically a marketing, sometimes a PR contact, or it could be the owner, of course, if it's a smaller business. But really, it's someone with typically a marketing lens that is making these decisions. And a lot of times it's a 50-50 between wanting to give to the community and support causes they care about, of course, but needing to be able to justify it through marketing results. And, you know, that really helps them if you can show them that kind of return. And basically the considerations and the reasons why they respond how they do to you, and perhaps reasons why they aren't able to donate to you. Sometimes it's not you, you know, it's not always something that they can help. It could be business factors, seasonality. Seasonality could also be that, you know, some businesses are just, they're only open 6 months of the year or less, and they just can't donate to events outside of those months, or they don't, you know, their offices close or whatever it might be. They're just slow, or it could be capacity in that they're just so popular that they can't possibly donate to everybody. They never make money, so you know they need to be able to support themselves, and that's something to keep in mind, that in order for them to continue donating things to us for free, that they also need to have enough business to actually stay in business. Some of the things, though, that might be things you can affect when you're requesting the donations are, you know, and it's not necessarily that something you can change, but it could be the event that you're holding, the type. Maybe you're outside where they typically think their customers are coming from. It could be more of an audience fit where, you know, it's a brand that is very trendy and, you know, popular with 20 somethings, and your event isn't necessarily that kind of event.
Were you saying to us, don't take it personally?
What's that?
Were you saying to us, don't take it personally if they don't know, donate?
Exactly. Yeah. Yes, exactly. And again, funny enough, past experience with your organization's events or your organization's programs or whatever it might be. You know, there may be something in the past that is going to help them say yes about you. And if you look at all of this from a marketing lens and how it might help their reputation, how it might help them reach more customers, help build their business, if you can focus on all the positive ROI you can give them in that respect, it will make it much easier for them to say yes. Next slide.
Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, I guess I need to also mention that in my conversations with them, and it always comes to this, these are the biggest reasons they say no, is that, again, because of their prior experience, they noticed that perhaps their donation wasn't used as they asked you to use it. Maybe not noticing the difference that they're making. They didn't hear anything from you afterward. They like summaries. They don't necessarily need specific written mail letters or anything that costs you money, but it's nice to let them know that you are grateful for what they did, and to even just give an overall summary of the types of programs or the impact that their donation, along with all the others you received, made in the community. A lot of times, again, not anything that actually has to cost you money, but they like to be thanked online. Even just a line item, a link, something on your website, social media, tagging them and thanking them, just a really quick sentence is really easy. We happen to help you with that on Donation Match. We send you reminders, so all you have to do is copy and paste, so that people who receive donations through Donation Match just get a little edge up if you actually do that. But and of course, funny enough, when they donate, they're giving you something that might cost them money. They actually do want the winners to use them. They're giving these for a reason. They want them to get into the right hands. They want people to enjoy their services or their experiences. So being able to give away, raffle, auction, however you use their donations, making sure it actually gets in the hands of someone that wants it is important. And that might mean not bundling it into a package if it's something that really should be separate. It might mean, if you're doing a raffle, letting the winners choose which prizes they want in the raffle, not necessarily just doing it at random. So again, avoid all of these so that you can basically do better, I suppose, and make sure that their business is positively impacted by what they're doing.
Renee, you gave us that hot tip years ago, I think like a decade ago, where you were talking about tagging the donors on social media, because it makes so much easier for them to then go ahead and share your event. They're not digging through it. They're not going through your emails. If you have your event and then you tag them, it's so easy for them to like, click, reshare, correct?
Yes, very much so. It's really important. And with all of the digital marketing tools that are out there, the more sophisticated companies are actually looking for those. Like they can do searches even if you don't tag them, but it's better if you do tag them so that it comes up on their social media accounts on the back end. And you're right, they can like it, they can help you boost your visibility, which helps everybody. It helps you, it helps them, all around. Again, win-win. So you want to focus on the win-wins.
Awesome,
and yeah, so really, I kind of summarized what you can do to increase your chances of getting approved. And this is, again, for both, donations as well as sponsorships, really any kind of relationship you have with companies that are contributing to your event. And so, in terms of making it easy for them, you want to research whether you're actually a suitable fit for them. You don't want to waste your time or theirs. Follow their instructions, show that you can deliver what they want, which is visibility, sharing your reach with them, basically. Give them a community presence that they can't do themselves because they're in the business doing what they're supposed to be doing, but it helps amplify their marketing reach also. Of course, be understanding if you're told no for now. It's often times, and I've been told that sometimes they just can't give year over year to the same organizations. They will take turns. And, depending on who's asking, you don't know if you're on a yes year or no year, but in our system, the company knows what they told you the year before. And so they can decide how to proceed that way. And then I think this actually helps almost more than many other things, and I don't know if organizations really think about this, is that companies don't always want to only be contacted when you want something from them. You're probably holding a lot of different events and programs and things like that that they just might want to get involved with if it aligns with their values. If it, if you're a cause that they enjoy, they might want to share about it to their employees. They may do employee engagement or team building projects with you. You might not be thinking about them except when you're holding a gala or an event, but companies are very complicated, especially the larger ones. And if you can engage with them and just throw those ideas out there to them and continue communicating personally if you can, if you have a contact, a personal contact. But even if you don't, yeah, it's helpful to make yourself visible, and so that you stay on their radar. And again, if you social media tag them, they might follow your organization if they like you and they think that you align with them. And they may even notice when you're posting on there about your other programs, they might reach out. You never know. The key is keeping that conversation going and staying on each other's radars, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Don't just disappear and then pop up because you need a package donated to your silent auction.
I think that's really good advice. I know that some of the experiences I've had where I've gone in, I asked for donations, I'm in the area. Obviously not through, I've used your portal as well, because that's fabulous. But then they see you over and over again, and they're like, oh, what else are you doing? And then they become a sponsor at a bigger event, so it just, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. And you're doing it anyway, right?
Exactly. If it's a local business, and I'm, this is advice totally off donation match. It has nothing to do with donation match. If it's a local business and you pop in, make sure you say something, once in a while about what your organization's doing, or get to know the staff or the owner or managers. And it's that kind of relationship that really will make them think of you as well, even when they have something going on and they need a partner. So basically, the overall gist of this is to think and act, and not just think win-win, but actually act win-win. Do what you can do to include them in in all the good work that you're doing, so that they have the opportunities to elevate you and themselves at the same time. Make them glad you say yes.
I'm taking that and putting in my pocket for the next 10 years. Renee says, think and act win-win.
Well said.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, and actually that's it for me. Thank you.
Awesome. Christy, I think you're having a little difficulty with the slides here, or viewing them. I'm not certain why. I apologize.
Okay.
I don't know why I don't know if it's a pop-up or what's preventing it, but we'll go ahead and throw it over to Christy to talk about Bring the Bling with your no risk items. Do you have your slides on the side? Do you want me to?
You can put them on the side if you want, or you can just tell me what slide we're on and I'll start talking about what I know.
Right. So you'd have to bring them up on your computer separately to see them, because I can't. I can only do what's being shown here, but we're on the next one that talks about generating excitement before the event. And there's a screen of exactly that, putting the purses up in a event preview page so that people can be excited about it. Do you want to talk about that?
I guess, like, before the event starts, is that so many times charities have their board members or they have meetings before their event, and they think that at the time that the event, the ladies will buy the purses to go with their dresses that night. However, what's really good is that their preview parties is if they have the purses there, then women can buy the purses that night and wear it to the gala. Because by the time they're at the gala and they're already dressed and they're ready to roll, they're not going to be switching purses. So that's why it's a lot of times to present them ahead of time to guests. Because say, for instance, you're having your event is on, it's an evening in Paris event. So we have purses, of course, that are Paris themed. But if you sell them during your event, they're not really needed then. They're needed before. So that makes sense. That's what I wanted to share.
For sure. And I probably should have paused for a moment to allow you to talk a little bit about Gifts That Give Back and what they do. Can I take a step back there first?
Sure. Yes. What we offer is a consignment service to charities where we provide you jewelry and Swarovski crystal purses that you can then have no risk, that we either ship them to you and you display them on your tables, or what we can do is if you're local here in our San Diego, Orange County, Palm Springs area, we can then come to your event and set up a whole display with flower arrangements and professional lighting and bid sheets sheets. We can do everything for you, like a whole turnkey package. So that's what our company's been doing for like 25 years, and we love it. It's a lot of fun. I love working with charities. Ever since I was a little girl, I was a candy striper working at a convalescent home. So that's what I do. And I'm a retired marriage, family, child therapist. And charity people are my people. It's just how it goes. And I love my life. I love my business, and I love working with everybody.
And this is why I invited Christy as well. We were talking about the next area. We're talking about items that you can't find at the mall, special heirloom pieces of art.
Yes, our purses are top quality. They are designed from artists from all over the world. And my favorite artist is my daughter, who is going to art school in Laguna Beach, California, and she designs many of them. So she's my favorite, but we do have probably 50 artists from all over the world that make them, that design them. I should say they design them, and then we have different factories also from around the world that make them. So they're not items that you can just find at the mall. Most of our designs are just exclusive to us. We do not share them outside the community, the philanthropic community.
Awesome. Talk to us about happy hour and early bird.
Well, one tip I have for you charities is that we do something. There's two things we do. It's called a early bird special for luncheons, or a happy hour special in the evenings for charities. And what we do is that, say for instance, your event starts at 5 o'clock. Well, usually between 5 and 6 o'clock, the auctions are kind of dead. People are arriving, they're having a drink, and no one's paying much attention to the auction tables, but that's where you're going to be making your money during that time. So what we do is that we have signs that we put up, and we say, first bidder is an automatic winner. So as soon as you win it, you bid it and you take it home. And people are going, what are you talking about? And then we say it to them 3 or 4 times. They get it, they love it, and they're an instant winner, and kaboom, kabang, they're happy. So it gets people talking. Their friends start arriving. They start telling them, hey, guess what happened over here? And guess what happened over here? And the beauty of consignment items is that you can have multiples. It isn't like you can just go instant bidder winner on your restaurant certificate because you have one. You can sell as many as you want to on the early bird special or the happy hour special. So it's a great way to get excitement and things going during that time where it's kind of dead and not much money is being made right at that time.
Awesome. Talk about offering one and multiplying. You want to talk about that a little more?
Yes,
the images that we have here of everything kind of on display.
Yes, what's another great thing to do, what's one of the benefits of consignment items is that you can sell multiples of the same item. You don't have to have them both there, but you can if you want to. Is that we ship our purses to the charities, then you can have 1 or 2 of the same item. But when you have the item, say you have, for instance, 2 people who are bidding on the butterfly purse. Well, say the top person is at $1,000 and the second highest bidder is at $900. Well, you can sell 2 of those butterfly purses to the top 2 bidders at $900. You don't want to sell them at $1,000 because one at $1,000, one at $900, because then one person will be upset that they paid more. But if you sell them both at $900, then you've made $1,800 versus $1,000, and you're not leaving money on the table, and you have 2 happy bidders who are then walking around their purses at other events talking about your charity. When people say, where'd you get that purse? And you go, well, I got it at the Humane Society, or I got it here. So it's the message that keeps going.
Awesome. And then I brought along just a visual of this showing don't leave money on the table. I have a sample printed bid sheet, and Lori was the first bidder, Christy was the second, showing off its 2-time sales. So the person that bid first was me at $250, and you're going to go back to Christy and Lori and say, hey, for $250, would you both like to buy it? Now you've done it twice, correct? Awesome. So raise more money with the jewelry pull. We've got some images of the blue bags and then the green and red bags for the jewelry pull.
Yes, the jewelry pull is a great way to add some fun, some excitement, and something different to your event, because not everybody does this. Is if those of you who are familiar with a wine pull, is that it's the same type of a thing. What we have is that we supply you with gift bags that match your color theme of your event, and then you can put your branding on the gift bags, or tie on a card with your ribbon, your thank you note, or you can use our bags, but I prefer it if charities market, brand themselves. But inside each bag is a piece of jewelry. You can use, we have a $50 option or $100 option. And it's a great way for when people are checking in, when things are slow, they're standing there in line, and you can say, hey, would you like to buy one of our mystery gifts? We do have them also for men. We have men's 100% cashmere scarves for their items, because of course they're not going to want the women's jewelry. So what we do is that we try to have the men buy one and the women buy one. And one bonus that we have is that if you engage with us in the mystery bag program, we supply you with a grand prize, and that consists of a Swarovski crystal purse, earrings, bracelet, necklace. And then what you do is that in the mystery bags, everybody gets $100 worth of raffle tickets for the grand prize. And if they buy 2 mystery gifts, then you double that. So it would be just 100 in each bag, would be 200. Then when you double it again, because they bought 2, they get $400. And men love those raffle tickets. I'm telling you, as soon as they hear $400 of raffle tickets, they open up their wallet and they're whipping out those $100 bills, because they cannot wait to win that raffle. They don't really care what it is. They just want to win that raffle. Women love the purse, believe me, they do. They love the purse. They go, oh my gosh, when we do events, we put it in a trophy case and highlight it with lights, but you can display yours any which way you want.
Awesome. I did advance the slide to show the one where you have the raffle bin with the raffle tickets in it and the grand prize next to it, showing how you can maximize that opportunity. The next page we're talking about is purses as centerpieces, and I've got the quad images up there with the Paris and the
and that's another thing that I've learned from requests from my charities. It wasn't my idea, it was their idea. They figured out, instead of buying table arrangements, which cost the charities money, and sometimes at the end of the night they're able to sell them, sometimes they're not. But instead of buying flower arrangements, you can put purses out on your table, and your auctioneer can suggest to people that they buy the purses and they can take them home. You can also say if you want to still do flower arrangements, say you've had them donated to you and it's not costing you, you can say, buy the purse and you get your table arrangement free with it. There's a million different ways that you can market that, but it's a great way to make your tables look really elegant. And as you look at the pictures, they add fun and something different. Nobody's event tables are going to look like yours. And so if you want to be unique, you want to be different and have fun, it's an option for you.
I love that. That's a great idea. The next slide, we're talking about where to start. And we've got the images of the purses lined up with bid sheets and a woman in a beautiful gold gown leaning over, putting her bids on there.
Yes, that's like I think she was part of the early birds, the happy hour special. She's just heard about it and she went right in on it. And her friends are standing off to the side and they're going, what is she doing? And then after she bid and she won, she went ahead and told her friends, and they start coming over. So it causes excitement.
Awesome. And you can just see how gorgeous everything is when they're lined up. It's just the glitter, the bling, the candy. It's so attractive. And then I brought along a slide to show you about the auction items. So it's easy to put the auction items into Octria, and then you can go ahead, if you're at the event and you want to do mobile bidding, you can set up a display page with a QR code. Somebody can come up and scan it. That way the people in the room can bid on it, as well as people outside of the room. Separately, if you want to do a paper bid sheet where people are marking it down with pen and paper, you can print your bid sheets, and your bid sheets can be set up with amounts that are already pre-printed on it, with the bidder number, with the name, all sorts of different ways to configure those. So whichever way that you want to run your auction portion of your event fundraiser, Octria has you covered. And when you pair that up with all the items from Renee, you pair that up with all the couture pieces from Christy, it's all in one unified catalog, and people can shop, people can bid, and enjoy the activities. And now we have an image here talking about the jewelry pieces. There's the loose diamond bracelet and a couple pendants and the necklace on there, Christy.
Right. Well, we also have to, in addition to your purses, if you want to add jewelry, I know jewelry is out everywhere. A lot of charities have it, but a lot don't. And if you want to have jewelry, we have the lowest prices in the consignment jewelry industry, and we ship them to you on consignment. There's no risk, there's no work. We just ship them to you in gorgeous black velvet packaging, and it's very easy to display on your table, and it just adds extra profits. And also for those people whose pocketbooks may not be so high to buy a crystal purse, everyone can get involved with, you know, a $50 or $100 piece. I should say most everyone can get involved with a lower end piece of jewelry and feel they contributed that night to the charity, instead of feeling, oh, I can't afford all these dinners or the trips and everything. I at least, you know, got a piece of jewelry and I contributed. And then whenever they wear that piece of jewelry, they're reminded of your charity. And it's a token of the event. It's a memory piece. Plus, if people ask them where they got it, they can say they got it from your charity.
Awesome. Thank you. So I was going to pivot over to some Octria stuff and talk about momentum in the room energy. The more items you have in there that people are excited about, they'll talk about it and previewing it on your website. They'll share it with friends. They'll share your event website. They'll come to your event if there's exclusive items there. People ask us all the time, how do we get people to show up? We talked about that a little earlier. There's no single formula that says, here's the recipe. If you do A, B, and C, it happens. It's so different because we're all humans and we all interact differently. So you have to try everything. You have to test it out. If it works, do it again. If it doesn't work, then don't do it again. And
pivot, right?
Right. Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Always learning. So I always bring it back to, there's two purposes for your event fundraiser. You want to raise money and you want to raise awareness. And by bringing in items that raise awareness to the catalog, it means it's raising awareness to your event. So on that catalog, in that room, on your event website, make sure you have images about your organization, your mission, your cause, where those dollars are going. It's just one big continuous conversation, because once you're raising awareness and they're like, oh my gosh, I love this cause, then they're going to donate otherwise, not necessarily just through the auction, whether it be a paddle raise or whether it be a live item, or maybe it's a recurring donation afterwards, because you want to go ahead and steward them after the event happens. So this is just a launching point. This is just the igniter for what's going to happen. And you can see from Octria, raise money, raise awareness. I talk about this all the time, but when you're raising the money, you're talking about your silent, your live, your online, your mobile ticketing, your raffles, your recognition of your sponsors. And then the awareness is your branding on your website using images and video. Video is so important to tell your story. Social media, QR codes for easy access. And then this is how to stay in touch with Octria. We're very active on social media. I'm going to say it. I say it all the time. Come hang out with us on our Facebook group. Auction Team Talk is the nicest page on Facebook. I'll drop a link in here. I think both of you are on there, and people ask questions all the time. It really is a nice group, right?
I like the conversations in there.
It is. It is. There's a lot of polls that are going on right now and a lot of questions that are happening. And you can always email us hello@octria.com. But here's how you get in touch with Renee at Donation Match. Renee, what's the best way to get in touch with you and grab some information about Donation Match? And I'll drop the link in here too at the same time.
Oh, sure. Well, I mean, we're a fairly small team. So hello@donationmatch.com is our email address. It does go to our support team, and anything that they feel it should be answered by me specifically comes to me. Otherwise, honestly, Donation Match is meant to be a self-service platform. It should be simple enough to go ahead and create your profile, log in, and we try to give you hints on how to proceed along the way. So, hopefully you don't need a lot of help to just jump on. Again, treat it like a dating site. Make your event and your organization look as good as possible. Focusing on the impact, as Laurie mentioned, is very important as well. And just, dive in and see what you can find.
Wonderful. And then, Christy, I have your contact information is your website, and then your email, Christy.
Yes. And to reach us, you just give us a call or send us an email. And what we do is that every event is different. So we welcome phone calls to help you. We like to team up with you to tailor your selections to your event. If you are working with animals, I think you should be picking out animal purses. If you're working with the military, you want to do Purple Hearts and American flag purses. So we work with you on tailoring whatever selections you have on what's best for you. We'll encourage you, maybe black and silver purses are your favorite. We encourage you to have one of every color, because that way you offer something for everybody. So that's why we welcome more calls, more emails. We want to make it interesting and fun and the best selection so you sell the most.
Awesome. Ladies, we have a stack of questions in the Q&A. Mind if I rattle these off to you? Okay, so yes, there'll be slides available. Question comes in from Denise. What is the recommended suggested amount of live auctions for the night of your auction? Do either of you have any comments on that, or shall I?
I think for me, maybe it depends, it depends on how many people you're having is definitely that matters. But I would think if you're having a crowd of maybe 100 or 200, I would think maybe 4, and then maybe for every 100 people you add another 1 or 2 more. What do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like no more than 10 in general, just because you need to gauge the room and see how long people are willing to wait. There are going to be things that, there are going to be people that are not going to be bidding at all, and that's how they feel. And so, and then you have certain items that may be less or more interesting. I would really consider keeping it definitely less than 10, maybe even 5, and then putting other things in the silent auction instead.
I would concur. I think those are both good recommendations to answer that question. I think I'd give the same answer. Is there additional donation companies when you upgrade as a paid member in the free section? There's
I answered that in the Q&A. Hopefully everyone can see the answers.
Oh, gotcha. I'm sorry. You did.
That's okay. I popped in there and answered a few.
Oh, you're faster than I am. Any good ways to get bidders to bid above the value of a business donation? There is a woman from Bangor Symphony. I wonder if she's here. She comes to a lot of our webinars. You have to go hang out with her on Auction Team Talk. And we just recently asked a question in there, and they do an incredible job. They're really good friends. I'm not going to get it exactly right. She might yell at me, but they're really good friends with the car wash. The car wash gives them a stack of free car wash coupons, and anything that's above the value, I think maybe they put their names in a raffle for all those, and then they pick the top 50 or whatever, and those people get a free car wash. And so, what are little ways that you can do that? Lots of times it's just a gift from the heart. I mean, if it's $100 gift certificate to Cheesecake Factory and I get it for 120, then you know what? It only costs me, that many dollars more. A lot of times it is literally just from the heart, but there are different ways that people are creative about it. Have either of you bumped into anything interesting?
I think Buy It Now by increasing it just a little over the value, there are going to be people that want to buy things and don't want to bother with the bidding process and will pay that extra little premium, whether it's a 10% over the value or a certain dollar amount. I think buy it now. I've seen plenty of people do that just to say, I bought something, I'm done.
Right.
Totally agree with you.
I agree with both of you. Those ways are great. And I just have a small tip would be when you have your bid sheets, or after you write your description, to write something in them to say bid now, because remember, when you bid, your charity wins. Or remember, when you make a difference in someone else, you make a difference for yourself. So then they may think, well, you're right, I'm making a difference for someone else, and they realize they're winning and the charity is winning. They may then bid up higher than what it's amount. You make more of an emotional connection with them there.
Awesome. There's a question about the purses. How much do the value of the purses, and how much do they usually go for? Do you have any thoughts on that?
The wholesale cost to the charities is $175, and the value complete with them is goes up to $1,200 depending on the purse. However, we charge $175 for all the purses, and that also includes right now an offer of a package of earrings, a necklace, and a bracelet, all done with crystals and sterling silver. So the whole package is valued at $1,200.
Awesome. And then there's a follow-up question about the cost on just the jewelry separate.
We have jewelry starting at $40 on consignment.
Awesome. That is
it goes up to your cost, goes from $40 to $90.
Awesome.
And the purses, people start the purses. If your cost is $175, you can start your bidding at $275, and you make $100 your very first bid, and all bids over that are theirs to keep also. We don't keep a percentage or anything like that.
Awesome. Thank you. I think that was most of the questions. If I've missed anything, go ahead and drop it in again. It'll ping to the top or ping to the bottom, and then I can see it a little easier. If not, I think we answered everything. I'll let some notes roll in. Ladies, I always wish everybody bids that soar. I hope they crush their fundraising goals. Christy, I'll give you the last word, and then Renee, I'll give you the last word. Christy? This has been great. This is my first webinar, and I just very much appreciate being invited and be able to talk with all of you. And I'm excited to hear about your events. I'm always loving to hear what charity, what's going on, and who you're supporting and what the deal is. So ring me up, let me know, and let me help you out, okay? Thanks for coming, Christy. Renee, I'll give you the last word.
Well, that's a lot of pressure. I do want to thank everyone for coming. I think, we're all in this together. We're all trying to do good in this world. I very much appreciate being invited, Laurie. And I guess my last word is one of the points that I made earlier is think and act win-win. It's so important. Actually, there's one more other tip, I guess, I forgot to mention earlier, is that you might explore using AI to rewrite some of those, the item descriptions, even sometimes your event descriptions and event letters. I think when I take a look at some of those, and we do an event marketing review with our upgrades, and I like doing a lot of those. People, I guess, in general, causes are so enmeshed in what you do. You talk about yourselves a lot, and you really want to think about bringing the company into what you do, your impact, being able to quantify it, and AI can do that for you so easily. Just tell it to mesh your website information with your event information and put a focus on the benefits for donors and sponsors, and honestly, it's magic. So that's my other tip, but definitely think and act win-win in everything else you do.
I love that. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and we will send everything out after. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Talk to you soon.